friends! Spring is the best time to plant new plants and watch them grow. And normally this time of year I go to the store and I buy some seeds, and that's what I like to plant, and that's what I like to plant with my classes too. But this year is a little bit different because most of us are trying really hard not to go to the store for things we don't need. And so instead of going and buying seeds to plant, this year I am going to try growing plants from things that are already in my kitchen. And you might not eat the same foods that I do, but you might have some of these same ingredients, or you might have some different things that are similar that you want to try. Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about 3 different ways to grow plants from kitchen scraps. The first way is growing fruit trees from seed. The second one is sprouting herbs from cuttings. And the third one is planting root vegetables and seeing how they grow. And I do want to say I haven't tried all of these strategies before, so I hope they all work, but it's science. Sometimes our experiments don't work. I know some of them will, but yeah, I'm excited to see what we can grow, so let's get started.
The first thing we're going to plant is an avocado. The green stuff is the yummy stuff, the fruit, and this big thing in the middle is the pit, and this is what we're going to use to grow a new avocado tree.
It takes a really long time before this can grow fruit of its own, so we probably won't expect to have our own avocados in our houses very soon, but we can get a pretty cool plant.
So after we get the seed out of the avocado, we're going to rinse it off really well. And then we are going to take a jar and fill it almost all the way up with water. If you don't have a jar, you could use something else that's got a similar shape. Then you take 3 toothpicks and we're going to poke them in the side of the avocado about halfway up and sticking out in different directions around the avocado so that we can use it to balance. We can use the sticks to balance the avocado in the jar. And the top part is a little bit pointy. So just make sure you have the rounder part, that's the bottom of the avocado fruit, have that part pointed down. And you want the water to cover about half of the pit. And then you put it in a sunny windowsill and you wait. And I usually change the water once or twice a week, so not every day, but you do want to change it sometimes. And I just take my seed out, empty out the water, and fill it up with fresh water, and then put the seed back. And it takes a little while, but let me show you a few that I started a couple of weeks ago. So these 2 have been going for a little while, and you can see they're starting to split. And pretty soon I bet that we are going to see something sprout out of one of them. Oh, see there how there's a hole? Pretty soon a little baby root is going to pop out from that avocado seed. And if we wait even longer, let me show you one that I started last year. I had to move this one to a bigger jar, but it grew some roots, and it grew a sprout, and it grew some leaves. But yeah, this took about a year to grow this big, and I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's a really good way to study the parts of a plant and see how it grows. But it does take a little bit of patience. Next type of fruit is one that I haven't tried to grow before, but I've read a lot about it and I want to try it and see if it works. So I'm going to try and plant some seeds from a lemon. And of course, I'm not filming myself cooking with these things, but of course you wouldn't want to just throw the fruit away. You want to make sure and use it. But here's my lemon, so I'm going to take the seed out. Let's see, there's another seed. How many seeds do you think are in this lemon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 seeds. How many of them do you think will sprout? Next, we want to take some water, and we want to plop the seeds in the water they're very slippery. And after we've got them all in there, we are gonna let them soak in there overnight, and our next step for planting them will be tomorrow. So it has been a day, and now it's time for me to take my lemon seeds out of the water and put them in the soil. I'm gonna plant them all just in one pot. I don't know if they'll all grow or not, but that's how I can check. So I just take them out and put them in the soil, and I press them down so they're covered up, but they're not super deep, right? Just so the soil covers them a little bit. Then take my spray bottle and spray the soil. So lemon starts with the L. What letter is that? Yeah, L. So lemon is L-E-M-O-N. And stick it on the side. So I'm planting lemon seeds, but you can also try this with other fruit seeds. Some that are pretty common to try are limes or oranges, but the one tricky thing with those is that you need to make sure you're buying limes or oranges that have seeds in them. And so like clementines or navel oranges don't have seeds, but other varieties will. So maybe next time you're grocery shopping, you could try a couple different orange types, and you can see which one is your favorite kind, and you can see which one has seeds and which one has more seeds. The other thing just to remember is that for fruit seeds to grow into fruit trees that actually have fruit can take a really long time, and sometimes you need more warm weather than we have here in Washington. So I don't know that I will be able to get more lemons from my lemon seeds, but I do think I'll be able to get a plant that I can watch grow and care for and have in my house that's beautiful. And even if it doesn't have lemons, that is just fine with me. Okay, the next way that you can grow plants from kitchen scraps is something called propagation. Can you say that word with me? Propagation. Propagation. And propagation is so cool because you can take a piece of a plant, you don't even need the seed, and you can use it to grow a whole new plant. I like to use this with herbs to grow more herbs in my garden. And today I'm going to do it with rosemary and with mint. And this is so easy. So all you need to do is you get a cutting that is maybe the size of a grown-up's hand long, and you're going to peel off the leaves from the bottom little bit, and then you stick it in water. And sort of like with the avocado, you change the water maybe every couple days, and you just wait for roots to grow. I've got my rosemary, and I'm just going to peel off the bottom bit and pop it in the water. So here's the rosemary that I am going to propagate. Let's do the same thing with the mint. So we're just going to pull off the leaves off the bottom and pop it in the water. And it doesn't really matter if these leaves touch the water or not. And once roots start to grow, then I will plant them in the soil. It takes a little bit longer for these to grow roots than I have to make this video. So I will, once they start to grow roots, film a follow-up video showing transferring them into the soil and what that looks like. Let's label these ones. So rosemary, rosemary. What letter does that start with? Yeah, it starts with R. R, O, S, E, M, A, R, Y. Okay, and mint, mint. What does that start with? M, M, I, N, T, mint. All right, rosemary and mint. Another thing from our kitchen that we can plant and it'll grow is a root vegetable. And how many of you listen to Rachel's Parts of a Plant song? Yes, so do you remember what part the root is?
The root is the part that's underground, and for some plants, we like to, or farmers, sometimes us, like to dig up those roots and eat them because some roots from some plants are really good. And so one kind that I really love is a sweet potato, and I actually bought this a long time ago, and you can tell because look, it's already starting to grow, and I didn't even have to do anything. But even if yours haven't sprouted yet, you can still plant them and get them to grow. And so if you're getting sweet potatoes from the grocery store, organic ones have a better chance of sprouting because they are less likely to be treated with a chemical that keeps them fresh longer. So, and look, aren't those leaves so beautiful? I almost don't even care if it grows a new potato because I just love these leaves so much. Like, what a pretty color. Okay, but here's how we plant it. I do have this recycled plastic container that I washed out really well, and it is just about the right size. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill it up with soil about to here, and then I'm just going to set my potato in so the potato is about halfway covered. So yeah, I'll fill it up most of the way. And then dig a little bit out for the potato. Take the sticker off because don't need the sticker for it to grow. And yeah, I'm gonna plant it so the potato is like halfway covered up. Put a little bit more on there. And then once again, I'm gonna stick it in a sunny spot and make sure to water it. Not so much that it's soaking, but enough that the soil is damp. I feel like when I pour water, sometimes the dirt goes all over the place. Also, most of my preschool friends really love using sprayers, I have found in class. And it's a good way to work on your finger strength, which is super important when you are a preschooler learning how to write. Okay, so let's make a label for our sweet potato. So, sweet, what letter does that start with? S, W, E, E, T. And then potato is P, P, O, T, A, T, O. Sweet potato. The next vegetable that I'm going to plant is another root vegetable. Does anyone recognize it? It's an onion. This one I have had for a while, so it's actually already starting to sprout. You can see it's coming out the top. But you don't have to wait for it to start sprouting on its own. You can plant most of the onions from the grocery store if you are better about using up your produce than I am. And it's super simple, sort of like with the sweet potato. You just pop it in the soil, water it, and stick it somewhere sunny. So I've got my pot, and I'm not sure, you might want a bigger pot if you have one, but this is what I've got, so this is what I'm using. And plants are tough, so I think it will work just fine. So I'm going to dig out a little spot for the onion, pop it in so it's almost all the way down, but leaving the sprouting part coming out of the top. Oops, and pat the dirt around it. And then I'm just gonna get the soil nice and damp. So onion's a little bit tricky to spell. So onion starts with an O. O-N-I-O-N. Onion. So those are all of the root vegetables that I have that I'm going to plant today. But you might have some other things in your kitchen that you could also try that can grow pretty well. And some examples are regular potatoes, ginger root, garlic. What else do you think you could plant? I can't wait to hear how yours turn out. See you soon!